Hi guys, Daryl Smith from South Dakota. I have another little story to tell you. Uh, Glenda and I feel very fortunate in that we have been able to travel this world a good bit. A big portion of that is I work for an airline, and when you do that, the employees get a reduced rate on flights, so you're able to travel a little easier and a little less expense. This is a little story. I'll call it the Coolie Hat. And Glenda and I and Daryl and Gene Cloud, we traveled together quite a lot and rode motorcycles together. But in this particular case, we were in Hong Kong, and we'd been there several days, and we'd seen some of the sights around town, and we decided to go on a little adventure. And at that time, communist China was kind of a closed place. You couldn't go there. It was kind of mysterious. And a little tour that somebody suggested we go on was to take the train and go up to the border. And they had an observation point up there, and you could look over into communist China. So we got on a train and was headed up there. And once we got out of the city a little bit, we were in the countryside, although we were still in Hong Kong, and the people were out in their fields working, and it was a fun ride just to see the scenery up to the border. And while we were on the train, we were approached by a young man. He could speak good English. And he said, ask us, well, where are we going? And he said, I'm a guide. I would like to take you on a tour up there at the border. And we said, oh no, we didn't want to do that. But he kept talking to us and convinced us that he was on the up and up. So we hired him to take us a tour. So when we got there, he had a car already there, so he had ridden the train down and then did it over and over again, pick up customers on the way back up. Anyway, he drove us around the area there. He drove us to one, I guess you'd call it a village, I'm not sure. It was a big building, and we walked through it, and evidently many families lived in this building, and we were just sort of like walking through people's houses. It was real dark in there, you could hardly see, and we were just going from one room to another room to another room, and I don't know how they understood or remembered where they were going. We were certainly lost, and we went in one side and came out the other side. So anyway, that was kind of an interesting little event. We were riding down this road in the car, and our driver said, now on the left up here is a pig farm. And Daryl Cloud grabbed his camera and was going to get the picture of the pig farm, but he was too late. And our cab driver, our guide, had kind of a sense of humor. He said, you can call that one past the pig farm picture. Anyway, we finally got up to the border, and we're looking out across the fields into communist China, and it looked just the same as on the other. Both sides of the border looked just about the same. There were just people out in their fields working. And while we were standing around looking up there, a lady approached me, and she was a salesperson, and she had those coolie hats that they actually did wear out in the fields. You could see them there. They're pretty big, and they're kind of conical shaped, and you've all seen them on the news. Anyway, she wanted to sell me one. I don't know why she picked on me, but she wanted to sell me one of those hats. And I told her right up front, I am not interested. I do not want that hat. You're wasting your time. She was persistent. She just kept coming, saying, and then she was shocked that I wouldn't pay her $12 US dollars for that hat. I mean, she was just seemed like she was just shocked that I wouldn't do it. But finally, she started to lower her price, and I kept telling her, "I don't want it. I don't want the hat. I don't want it." And seemed like she was about to cry, and she talked about her kids probably wouldn't eat that night unless I bought one of her hats, and she's trying to make me feel bad, I guess. Anyway, finally, she got it down to $5. And literally, she was about to cry. And she she finally got it down to 5. I said, okay. So I gave her the money, and she gave me the hat. And then she turned to Daryl, who was traveling with me, Daryl Cloud, and said, "Do you want to buy a hat?" And he said, "No, I don't want to buy a hat." She said, "Oh, you need to buy a hat." And he said, "How much?" And she said, $2 US. So she sold him the hat for $2, and she almost cried when I gave her 5 for it. It's a simple little story, but that's a story that happened on one of our travels. Thank you very much.